everybody, welcome back to my channel. Sorry it's been a while, holidays, vacations, work, all that, you know. This is another video in my ARK Dinosaur review series where I take a look at 3 of the creatures in ARK Survival Evolved and tell you all about them and if you should tame them in my opinion. All my typical disclaimers, most of my skins are legit, some aren't because this is my single player world. My player's naked in some clips because they have to teleport around to different bases, and yeah, let's just talk about these dinosaurs. The first dino I'll talk about today is the Compsognathus, otherwise commonly known as the Compy. The Compy is one of the smallest, if not the smallest, creature in ARK, and it presents as a simple, feathered theropod. In real life, since the 1850s when the first Compsognathus fossil was found, the Compy was known as the world's smallest dinosaur. That is, until Microraptor fossils were found in the 1990s. This contradicts the in-game portrayal of the dinosaurs, as ARK's Microraptor appears bigger than the Compy, so that's just a fun fact for you. Compys in the wild can be found pretty much all over the island, but they're easy to overlook. A lot of the grass is taller than them, and they're pretty well concealed. You might even crush them to death before you spot them if you're riding on a big dino like a Rex or a Spino. Compys are naturally curious, so they'll run right up to you and just stare at you. They'll follow you around as well, and as long as there's a single Compy, they're not a threat. The danger comes though when there are multiple Compys. In a group of 2 or more, the wild Compys will become aggressive and attack. Compys are surprisingly stressful to tame. I say stressful because if you have all the correct supplies, taming them is super easy. But if you don't, it's dreadful. Let's start with the biggest problem. Compys only eat 3 things: raw mutton, raw prime meat, and raw prime fish. And we all know those things spoil very quickly. The second problem is that their HP is super low, so only higher level trank items like trank darts will knock them out without killing them. The third problem is that their torpor depletes extremely quickly, so you have to be on top of the food and narcotics or else they'll wake up and you'll have to start all over. Once you tamed your Compy, they're a cute pet to have. They can ride on your shoulder. You can pick them up by tapping E on PC and throw them off of your shoulder by double tapping F. The Compy is obviously too small to ride on, and it doesn't really have any unique abilities or much use other than being a bodyguard. Compys do stand out for their pack boost buffs though. These dinosaurs are the epitome of strength in numbers. They gain a slight damage, speed, and defense buff when they're surrounded by other Compys. You need a minimum of 2 Compys to get the buff, and it caps out at 8 Compys. You can tell how great of a boost your Compy is getting by the number over its head. Disclaimer, it doesn't look like many people have bothered to look into the Compy pack mechanic, so I really didn't have many sources to cross-examine on this. Sorry if any of the info is incorrect, but if you do have correct information, please drop it in the comments below. Be mindful about what you attack with your Compy pack though. As I mentioned earlier, they have really low health, so your Compys can die very easily when up against a hard-hitting enemy. I assume the best use of Compys would be in PvP, because you can set them up on aggressive inside your base to protect your items from other people. So do I think having a Compy is worth the effort of taming it? No. For how hard they are to tame, they don't have many redeeming qualities. Sure, they're cute and have a neat pack mechanic, but they're still so much weaker than a lot of other dinosaurs that take much less effort to tame. There's a high chance that your Compys will die simply because they're so weak, and then all the stress of taming them isn't worth it. I don't have much else to say, so just take it from me. Don't waste your energy taming Compys like I did taming 8 for this video. The next next dinosaur I'll cover is the giant prehistoric shark, the Megalodon. I decided to talk about this today because I haven't covered a water creature yet in my series, and what better animal to start with than one of the most infamous prehistoric predators of the sea. The Megalodon is very common on the island, as it can spawn in the sea off of the coast of every biome. They swim fairly high up in the water, so they're easy to encounter even at low levels when you don't have scuba gear. The waters tend to be treacherous for players who are just starting out, partially due to piranhas and partially obviously due to these sharks. Taming a Megalodon doesn't have to be super difficult. Since they roam not too far from shallow water, you can simply aggro them close to the shore, stand on a rock where they can't touch you, and shoot some trank arrows into them. You can also ride on an Ichthyosaurus if you have one, and kite the Megalodon while shooting it with a crossbow underwater. Megalodons only have one attack, their bite. This attack can be activated by left-clicking on PC. A tamed Megalodon can be your first step into exploring the depths of the ocean. You'll of course need a scuba set, but a Megalodon's speed and power underwater will help you discover the wonders of the ocean. They can at least help you swim down to encounter and tame the really powerful deep-sea beasts, such as the Plesiosaur and the Mosasaurus. Megalodons are good for various kinds of farming. They can easily kill trilobites, which can be used to farm chitin, oil, and silica pearls. They can also make quick work out of mantas, ichthyes, and coelacanths and help you farm loads of fish meat. Other than that, Megalodons don't have any special abilities unique to their species. So, do I think it's worth the effort of taming a Megalodon? I'm leaning more towards no for this one, but I'd say it largely depends on how you play the game. If you're highly focused on exploring the ocean, then I say yes, the Megalodon is a good stepping stone dinosaur and a solid bodyguard to have when exploring the depths. Otherwise, not really. I think if you use the water primarily for transport, an Ichthyosaurus is a better investment since they can outswim pretty much any water threat and get you where you want to go. Also, I think that everything a Megalodon can do, a Sarcosuchus can do better. I haven't covered the Sarco yet on my channel, but I can tell you that it's faster and has better attacks than the Megalodon, so I think the Sarco is a better investment all around. So, to sum up my opinion, a Megalodon is good to tame if you love the ocean or don't have access to a Sarco, but otherwise I'd say save yourself the effort. The last dinosaur I'll cover today is none other than the Therizinosaur. I have a lot to talk about with this creature, so strap in. The Therizinosaur is a large feathered theropod, and it's regarded as one of the most powerful and useful creatures in the game. The name Therizinosaurus translates into scythe lizard, which is a reference to its huge claws. These claws are the longest known from any animal in real life, and the largest specimens range from 2.3 to 3.3 feet long. Contrary to what you might think initially, the Therizinosaur is a herbivore. In ARK, the Therizinosaur is a rare spawn, but it can be found pretty much all over the island. This includes the easy areas, so they can be a big threat to players just starting out. They're fast and extremely hard-hitting, which makes them a huge pain to take down in the wild. Taming a Therizinosaur is no easy task either, as they take many tranks to knock out. Their torpor decreases rapidly for a large dino, and they take a lot of food to tame. Once you do tame a Therizinosaur, they are invaluable for so many reasons. But before I go into why, I'll talk about the Therizinosaur's attacks. It has 3 moves: a clawing, scratching attack that's activated with left click on PC, a claw harvesting attack, also known as the tickle attack, activated with right click, and a bite attack activated by pressing C. The Therizinosaur is a really powerful dinosaur to have on your side. They have crazy damage output and can usually hold their own against even a Rex of a similar level, so there's no doubt that they can protect you from most other creatures in the game. They also have pretty good stamina, so taking on multiple foes or running away usually isn't an issue. When battling another player on a mount, the Therizinosaur can actually apply torpor to the player while they're on the dinosaur by using the bite attack, which makes them even more dangerous in PvP. Although its combat prowess is outstanding, the Therizinosaur's harvesting abilities perhaps stand out even more. It's one of the best, if not the best, harvester in the game for wood, keratin, rare flowers, chitin, hide, rare mushrooms, plant species Y seeds, fiber, organic polymer, thatch, and all variations of meat. The Therizinosaur's different attacks harvest different materials. The claw attack is good at harvesting wood, thatch, hide, and chitin, and the different variations of meat. The tickle attack harvests fiber, and the bite attack harvests berries, seeds, hides, and chitin. The bite is the best way to collect the hide and chitin, even though you can use the claw attack to collect it as well. Another interesting mechanic is the upgradable harvesting. Every time your Therizinosaur levels up, you'll get a point to upgrade either its power harvesting or its delicate harvesting. You can see these by looking at your dino, holding E, and selecting harvesting levels. By putting points into power harvesting, you greatly increase the yield of wood, thatch, and meat your Therizinosaur collects. And by leveling up delicate harvesting, your dino will collect more fiber, berries, hide, chitin, and organic polymer. As a rule of thumb, power harvesting increases the yield of the claw attack, and the delicate harvesting increases the yield of the tickle and bite attacks. So do I think it's worth going through the effort of taming a Therizinosaur? I'm sure you already know the answer, yes. This dinosaur is invaluable for so many reasons, and it's one of the most well-rounded mounts in the game. The only thing I will say is that taming them is a huge pain. I think the more Therizinosaurs you have, the better, but you'd be way better off just taming a male and female, the bare minimum, and breeding as many as you want. I have nothing else really to say other than the Therizinosaur is one of the best dinos in the game, and although it's a hassle to tame, it's really worth it. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. As always, I'm open to taking suggestions for what dinosaurs to cover next. Also, just generally let me know in the comments what you thought of this video. As somebody relatively new to making videos, any feedback helps. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you here next time.